There's a vineyard not far from my house, and they've turned it into a fantastic restaurant and convention centre, and it looks like they're building accommodation there as well. And it's got a fantastic view out to the valley here. I've had lunch here a couple of times, and oh, there's a kangaroo right by the side of the road. Hello, kangaroo. G'day, mate. What are you doing? You eating some grass, are you? Hey? I must show you this. It's so cool. G'day, young fella. What are you doing? We've got thousands of them around here. Whenever we get visitors from overseas, we always take them just 5 minutes up the road, and they can see thousands of kangaroos. Oh, there's some nice scenery down there. I've never driven down this road before. I didn't even know it was here. There's a dam down there, but there's a bit of stuff around it which looks a bit ordinary, but there's a row of trees on a ridge over there with really dry grass behind it, and it actually looks pretty good. I'll grab the camera again and show you. So over there it looks pretty good. I might actually be able to get something here with the sun hitting those trees, but I'm going to drive on a bit further and have a look and see what else I can see. Pardon the all the jerky camera movements, but this is kind of cool. There might be a couple of photos to be had around here actually. Let's see what's further down. This is what I love about going out shooting landscapes, is just simply looking around and seeing what's here. There are so many photo opportunities close to your home. You kind of get blinded to it because you're familiar with the area, but there's a lot of stuff that you actually haven't seen, and you just need to drive around slowly. Just take your time and just see what's out there. Wow, this road is so cool. Gee, it goes a fair way too. This is fantastic. I reckon there's going to be all sorts of opportunities down here. Oh, there's another dam down there. Wow. Beautiful rolling hills. There's a little farm shed down there. There's got to be something here that I can photograph. If nothing else, I'd be able to get some great shots here with the drone, I reckon. Anyway, I'm going to go a bit further down and see what's down here, and then I might come back and just pick something here to photograph and see how I go tonight. Yeah, lovely. Alright, let's see what else this turns up. Sorry about the strong light here. I'm driving straight into the sun. There's not much I can do about it. Hopefully I can salvage this footage. So that looks nice. There's a farm shed with a couple of trees next to it. I'm not sure it's good enough for a photo. I mean, it looks nice to the eye, but this is something you learn after a while, is you know, something that looks ordinary to the eye, you can often make it look interesting if you photograph it with the right lens from the right angle at the right time of day. And likewise, you can look at something and go, yeah, that looks really nice, but once you get it in camera and you see it in 2 dimensions, it's not that flash anymore. But there's definitely some opportunities around here off this road. Oh, that looks nice. There's a tree there with the dam behind it. Yeah, that looks kind of nice. Might give that a go actually when I come back. But first, let's go down here a little bit further and see what else there is. There's a nice dead gum tree over there, but the background is a bit too close to it, so I couldn't blur out the background. Although, nah, no, I don't think so. What a fascinating area though. I never knew it was here. Alrighty. Better get my glasses because I'm a blind old bastard. That's better. Now I can see what I'm actually doing. The perils of old age. The temptation is always to zoom in on a subject, and I certainly advocate doing that a lot of the time because it makes it very clear what your subject is. And really, the very first rule of landscape photography is, what are you actually photographing? What do you actually want to show? And oftentimes we're not really showing what it is we intend to show. We include a whole bunch of other stuff in there. But yeah, I still think this has potential, but maybe I have to wait until later, till the light gets lower and the shadows grow longer. But I might fire off a couple anyway, just see what it's like. I tell you, this is another device that I really like, is this Peak Design travel tripod, this carbon fiber tripod. It looks kind of spindly, but man, it's strong. It really is strong. It's very, very rigid. It's a fantastic tripod. So I usually use this now to stick my, I use this to put my DJI Osmo Pocket 2 on to film what I'm showing you. And it's bloody good. So I've come up with this rather unique setup here. It's so it's a DJI, let me just put this camera down a little bit. So it's a DJI Pocket 2. I'll just power it on. So what I've done is I've put a little GoPro Media Mod light on it. I've got the little wireless microphone that comes with the DJI Pocket 2 when you get the Creator Combo or whatever it's called. And a small rig mount here with another small rig cold shoe mount here. A GoPro, small rig GoPro mount here that goes into a cold shoe. And basically what I've got here is a 4K video camera with lighting, with wireless audio, with surround audio if I want to disconnect the little wireless mic, and I've got a gimbal, so it does an awful lot. Anyway, what I do is I just bung it on my, let me tighten that up, bung it on my Peak Design travel tripod, swivel it around. I'll just turn this around. Oops, wrong thing. It's the trouble when you've got too much gear. You forget what thing you're supposed to use for what. And I love this, the head on this thing, the way it works. It's so simple and intuitive. Just the one dial, spins it around, adjusts the height of it, the angle of it. It's fantastic. Very clever design. And like I said, nice and rigid. It's a bloody good gadget. So anyway, let's see if I can get a few photos here, eh? Yeah, now this light is pretty harsh. Not ideal. But I'm going to take a few shots anyway. First with fairly shallow depth of field, 100th of a second. I've got it set to a 2-second timer anyway, just out of habit, because I'm usually shooting longer exposures and always good to have a timer. I know there is an obsession with shooting late in the afternoon, early in the morning, that sort of stuff, but it doesn't always have to, you don't always have to be shooting at those times. Sometimes you can actually get interesting shots when the sun is still up a bit, especially, you know, if you've got a little bit of pollution on the horizon or a bit of mist on the horizon and it colours that light a bit, you can still get some interesting shots. You just need to look around. Like I've said before, that's the beauty of shooting digital now, is you don't have to worry about wasting film and wasting money. You can fire off as many shots as you like, and then at least you've got something to work with when you get back home. You've got something to learn from. You build up your experience, and so you only gain from it. Another thing that's good to do too is is rather than trying to photograph everything, is sort of, if you can, settle on something which you really enjoy, or something which is easily accessible. Like for me, it's, you know, it's rolling hills like this. It's gum trees and dead trees and that kind of stuff. And, you know, just get good at doing that. Have the patience to go exploring in your area all over the place, and just take your time and look at it at different times of day as well. And you'd be surprised the kind of photos you can get if you're just patient and become good at shooting your local area. I mean, for example, right here I've got this lovely tree. I'll just swing the camera around so you can have a look. I've got this lovely tree sitting in a dam over here, but there's also grass here in the foreground. So if I get down low with my camera and blur out some of that grass in the foreground, you know, that might make an interesting shot as well. So I might just try that right now, actually. So I'll bring you back around. So let's see what that would look like if I get down lower. I'll drop the lower legs. See what this gives me. It's the beauty of shooting with a screen these days. It's so much easier to shoot at low angles. Now in this case, I don't think it's going to work that well because I've got a few strands of very tall grass that are kind of obstructing the subject. So I think they're just going to distract rather than contribute to the shot. But if there was an even spread of grass along here, then yeah, getting down low could work. The trick is simply to be always experimenting. It's a bit like writing. The only way you become a good writer is to write, and write a lot. And to read other people's writing too, that can certainly help, to help you develop a style and to figure out what you like, what you appreciate. And it's the same with photography. Best way to become good at photography is to do lots of photography, take lots of photos. Screw up a lot. Screw up often, screw up early. Now this shot is slowly starting to improve. I'm liking it more and more. I'm going to get up even higher and see what that does. I actually haven't tried the center column on this yet, so let's give that a go. Such a beautiful tripod, this. I know I keep raving about it. I apologise, but I bloody love it. All right, let's see what that looks like. Oh yeah, that's better. That actually makes it a simpler composition. It's one of the great things about photography. There's a lot of great things about photography, but for me, you know, a gearhead and a nerd, one of the great things is all the gear that you get to muck around with. And the good thing is, you know, a lot of it holds its value pretty well, especially if you buy secondhand. I always try and buy secondhand whenever I can. And if you buy secondhand, well, then you can use something for a while. And if you don't like it, then you can sell it again. You know, just bung it on eBay or Gumtree or whatever it is that's, you know, relevant in your city. 15th at f16. Get as much in focus as I can. Focus about a third of the way in. Yeah, that looks all right. I'm going to get it in a bit tighter, actually. I do like geometric shapes. But one thing I want to experiment with more is symmetry. You don't find a whole lot of symmetry in nature, but where you do, it can look fantastic. And I definitely want to look for more symmetrical image opportunities if I can. If you go in too tight, then you lose the impact. It's a bit like product photography. You know, if you just go right in on the product, it's very mundane, very clinical. But if you photograph it in its environment and you give it room to breathe, then you often end up with a better shot. The good thing about this Really Right Stuff ball head is it's so substantial. You know, I basically just leave the pan section of it loose so I can move it around like this, but it's so smooth, you know, It's wonderful. I can do my, you know, my raw adjustments here with the bowl head on this iFootage Gazelle TC6, and then just do my panning with the ball head. But this combination, I love it. It gives me the option of, you know, using either, and sometimes I'll favour one over the other. And so you can adjust the tightness of the ball head with this dial here, so that when you loosen off the ball head, it doesn't just flop down like it, you know, and bang your lens against the front of your tripod. It'll ease down slowly, and I really like that, the way you can do that. All right, I think this shot's got some potential. I can see the wind is actually blowing my lens. If I zoom in, yeah, the wind is blowing my lens. It's the thing you've got to be super careful of when you're shooting with a long lens, especially with a lens hood on. Just double check it by zooming in on your image live. So you've got to be really conscious of that. And don't be afraid to bump up your ISO a bit, because you don't have to shoot everything at 100 ISO. So I'm going to knock this aperture down to f8. That gives me a 60th of a second. Well, when I say 400, 500th of a second, if you're on a tripod, you don't need that. If you're hand holding, you would. And I've got the image stabilization turned off on this. I wonder, because I turned it off when it's on a tripod, I wonder actually if that would help while it's on a tripod to counteract that wind. Actually, it does, you know. It does. So there's a tip for you. If you've got a long lens on a tripod and it's moving a little bit in the breeze, stick your image stabilization back on. At least with this lens, it definitely helps. This lens and this camera body, this is the EOS R5, and that's the 100 to 400 Canon L Lens. All the shaking is gone, so I'm going to leave that on. There we go. All right, so I'm shooting at 400 ISO, f8. Come back out. And that's 1/60th of a second, 160th. Once the sun goes down, the trunks on those trees are actually going to come up really nice. I think I'm just going to stay here and wait. I think it's worth waiting here. All right, we'll see how that goes. I tell you, I'm glad I waited. Look how this light is starting to take shape now. It's starting to look beautiful. Beautiful warm golden light. I don't know why I'm crapping on about it. It's time to take photos. Alrighty. Oh yeah, this looks nice. This is looking good. I just love the way the light is hitting this. I don't know if it makes a good photo, but it certainly looks good in the viewfinder. We'll see. The different colours are beautiful. We've got really sort of white grass here in the foreground. We've got yellow grass in the background. And we've got sort of a grey right up the back where the sun's not hitting it. And the difference in the colours is just magnificent. I'm going to go back down to 100 ISO here, since I discovered that by having the stabilization on, it actually does seem to eliminate most of those camera shakes. Yes, honey, I'm shooting video and taking photos. Hello. Hey, son, your phone call is now in my video. Yeah, all right, I will. Now piss off, I've got to get this photo. See ya. I was talking before about getting photos that are symmetrical and how I kind of find that idea appealing. So I'm going to do a shot here with the tree dead center. It's not exactly symmetrical, but we've got opposing diagonal lines, so it might work. I might even change lenses, I think. Try and get a wide vista here. How's the front? Dusty. Alrighty. You can tell I'm a professional because I wipe my lens with whatever I've got, especially when the sun is going down and there's not much time. You got to grab the shot while you can. Okay. Ooh, that's nice. Now this time I am going to get grass in the foreground. but I'm shooting wide, so I'm getting lots of it. And I'll probably end up cropping this to a 16:9 or something more panoramic. Oh yeah, actually this looks nice, just like this. I might have to Photoshop that fence post out. I don't mind removing stuff that I don't want in a photo. I don't really like adding stuff. Adding stuff feels too fake to me. I added clouds to a shot once because it was a great shot and it just really needed something to make the sky work. So I did add some clouds once, but that's the only time. Well, that's just about it for the afternoon glow. I'm pretty happy with that. I definitely have to come back here. I'm not sure if there's much more that I can get of this group of trees down here by the dam, but there's definitely other shots to be had around here. There's no doubt about it. It's a beautiful area. This whole area is actually one of the largest lava flows in the world. There is a national park not far from here called Organ Pipes, which has vertical columns of lava. And that's the remains of a massive caldera where the lava actually flowed. I think it was something like 350 kilometers, and it poured right through here. And this is the remains of it, and all the gullies and the valleys here where water has carved out depressions in the land. But what it's produced is beautiful rolling hills. But anyway, I think that's it for today. We'll call it quits and head on back home.